This is the first video that I've been dreading to make. Maybe dread's too strong a word, but I'm at least nervous about it. If I'm going to be able to race my TRF 201, I need to paint the body. I'm about to embark on painting the most complex body I've ever painted in terms of the body shape and in terms of how I'm going to treat it. And to complicate things, I've decided I really want to have a matching pair for the Phil Booth GP coming up in a few weeks' time. So to that end, I've got a clear body shell to cut and wash and prep as well. So a clear body shell for the DB01, so that the TRF 201 and the DB01 can have matching paint, matching stylistic paint, and I'm worried. I'm not worried about the process. I've painted bodies before. I've painted reasonably complicated bodies before in terms of multiple colours and how to apply colours and masking. In general, I'm quite happy with what I'm doing. It's just this time we're still using masking tapes. We're not using liquid mask, but I'm going to be applying very fine, very delicate masking lines, and then I'm going to be airbrushing and blending in thereafter. So let's just get to it. So that's two bodies washed. Before washing it, I did run a rotary tool around this one to give it a bit more cleanup. I did such a rough cut previously about that. It needed something doing. Same here. I just ran a rotary tool around the edges, make sure any of the rounded off things were more cleanly done. Especially if there's anywhere that I'd like snipped and ended up with the end of a pair of scissors. Terrible, don't do that. If you do, make sure you take any sharp edges, cuts and things away using a rotary tool. So that's what I've done on both body shells. Now, the Durga did come with kind of rough and ready window mask, so I'm going to put that in now. I don't have a window mask for the 201, but I'm going to show you a thing that I've learnt about doing window masks. The window mask for this one should be easier because we can actually make them on the outside, transfer them to the inside thereafter, and I'll show you what I mean. Do like so. Grab a marker, run that round in the inside edges of the windows. So, like so. I realised actually there's a window frame, so it's the lower one I want anyway. Then we can take that off as one piece. Like so. I cut that out with scissors or a craft knife. And what you're left with should be a suitable window mask for the shell, taken from the shell itself. Like so. And typically better quality of the mask than many you get supplied with body shells. So, yep, Gavin of RC Kicks, thank you very much. That's the way to do them. I did the same there for the side windows. Now, the thing to bear in mind when you do side windows is what you cut out is going to stick onto the opposite side. So that's the one from the left-hand side that applies onto the right-hand side. So there we've got the two bodies masked if I was going to be doing one can treatment for them or just a straightforward blend. The window masks on the Durga are terrible, but I'm going to go with them as is for the minute and use paint remover to sort them out afterwards. The key next thing for me to do is mask up where my stripes are going to go. For that, I'm figuring out whether I want 2mm or 3mm stripes. I'm going to go with 2mm and see what it looks like with the tape on and see if I can judge from there what it's actually all going to look like. So let's get some of that masking doing and see. The very first one down is the most important because that's the one that defines where the center is. I know a lot of people use pens and draw things on for center lines, etc. I'm generally quite happy to take a tape center line like this because then I can reposition it. I'm presuming that I've got, this is on the outside, so this is basically just there for me to guide me and make sure that what I think is a straight line kind of is. Once you're working on the inside of the body shells, I find it very difficult to stay on my original lines. So that's my center line and looks, if I use that as a center line for my overall scheme, I think I'm not going to be too far off. So let's get going with the masking. That's the centre line. Let's build the others up. The good thing for me is I'm not actually looking for parallel here. I'm looking for something that shows, like, complements the lines of the body shell itself. So I do know I've actually got to fan out along this kind of edge, potentially branch out as I go. So this might be a branch point. I'll certainly follow around here with tape. Maybe that's next, is actually to go and follow that line. One thing I do like to have is cotton buds, just to make sure that anywhere that there's creases, I do actually get the tape into those creases. Sometimes it's a case of lifting and relaying tape to make sure it gets there. Anywhere you're short on a crease is somewhere there's going to be bleed. And so I think we're good there. I think we're good. To respect the body shell, I think we're going to split for the windscreen and do it that way. Bearing in mind, where the tape is now is where we're going to get colour. And so we're trying to think of that little bit ahead and make sure we're respecting where the black is and where the colour is around those high points. This is the part of the overall process that AI can't help you with. Not today, anyway. Some of it is about feel and judgment and what your intuition tells you is the thing to do. And I am very much aware that for a TRF body such as this, there's a lot of people who'll be like, well, there's only one paint scheme you could do on it, and it's not the one that I'm going with. So I apologise in advance if you're one of those people. I couldn't do that body, and I know I wanted to paint this one up, so we're getting what we're getting, however it turns out. So that's the start of our pin stripes. Now these are where the colour is going to go, and I think that's rather heavy on the colour. But I'm also aware that I do too much black on here, and I end up losing that as well. So that's all okay. Now there's some others that we need to follow here and around the base here. Good. You can see the one line that I've laid down around there. Do need to do the same for this lower line. I do need to do something around here. So let's figure out where they're coming from and make that happen. Because the effect here really is we're trying to do something that's like a CFD kind of air pressure. And so if I don't get like the feel of a flow, then I know it's wrong anyway. And ideally, you do all this without getting fingerprints on the inside of the shell. We've washed it, and so in that regard, this is supposed to be a clean, oil-free body. And of course, every time I do anything with tape, I'm interfering with that. So anytime I'm running my fingers along the tape can be a problem. This could look horrid when I'm done. It could look truly, truly horrid, and I wish I hadn't done it. But it's okay. We're getting somewhere with it. It's got the feel. So the lines at the moment, they've got the feel for what I'm going for. We do have to go through, especially because we're doing curves, we do have to go through and repress these down. Again, earbud will be the best for achieving that. And I've similarly got to think, okay, so if we're talking about air flowing over, where do we branch from? And so for this infill, we're going to branch actually from the top edge here, not from the side, as in, or maybe a combination of both. But it's that feel. I'm not looking for accuracy. I'm looking for the feel of it. And yeah. I'll leave that piece here for the moment. I know it's got a flow. I need to take at least one colour, maybe two colours up along here, and I'll run them in, and then I'll probably reshape or cut this piece at that point. What I don't yet know is whether I've got enough 2mm tape to do both of these bodies. So what I'm just trying to figure out at the moment is there's not really enough room to get 2 3mm and enough of a black through the middle. And so that, if I'm not careful, it's going to be too much colour in here. So what I'm just trying to decide is whether I go with thinner tape, whether I just cope with the edge being knocked off and it being into the window mask is. Quite how that works. Do I actually just want to use 2mm tape up and over the body there? This shell's got to be really colourful, but I've got to get enough black into it for it to really make the colour stand out and not just be a blended colour body shell. I think I'm pleased enough with that I can do the other side. I've still got to figure out this bit and the flaming along here. Maybe we take that first. We want. I don't want colour on the high point of it, so that's okay. That helps me. So we're getting there. We've got some flow going through the side. Got a flow going over the roof. I need to do a thing here around the crown of the roof with that weight. That, I believe, puts the base in for all of those. So the same on the other side. And then we can start infilling it somewhat. So that's the flowing lines of it. I need more colour to go in through the middle here, through here, through here, through the top and down the sides. But we can do that by, like, I can afford for it to be level at the bottom here. I can afford for the lines to spread and combine. That's going to be okay to capture the kind of vibe and the feel of it. Do you have to do something around here? But that's okay. We either feed it back into the bottom or we feed it into the top. And it feels like it should be into the bottom. It should be following down and into the bottom. There should likely be some amount of wash over the top. But let's just do it, shall we? That'll work. That will work. Good. Good. And the wrinkle here is there's enough tape on it that maybe what I should be doing is running what's tape as black. I'm going to pause it there and I'm going to come back after I finish masking. Right, so some significant time later, the body is all masked. I'm reasonably happy with what I've done with it. I am going to leave it so that where the masking is, where the colour is, so all the clear bits currently are going to be black. So I'm just going to go through, press down all of the tape everywhere, make sure it's as good as it can be, and then we'll crack out the airbrush, get a really light dusting of black down, and then see from there. One mistake I did make is I was planning on doing this all with 2mm tape. And it's only when I got through the end of the first roll that I realised that was 3mm tape. So the 3 stripes here on the side are actually purely done in 2mm tape. Everything else is in 3mm. At least it is the same on both sides. These are both 2mm tape sides, but that's okay because it's going to be darker down the side here. That will work for me anyway. So that is my rather complicated masking scheme. I'll press it down, I'll clear up, get the airbrusher out, and the next thing you'll see is me giving it a dusting of black. So here we are at my rather special spray booth. This is the box my Toms came in. Yes, I should be using something with airflow and filters and all that kind of stuff, but you'll see the overspray here is actually quite small. Now I've been using this Vallejo paint. It's an acrylic, so it's a water-based one. There's no fumes like you get with Tamiya sprays. It's quite cool, so that might cause us a little bit of a problem. And apologies for whenever the pump kicks in. It has got a tank, but it's a very small tank, so the compressor will go every so often, and I'll see what I can do about editing that back out. So that'll do for now. As in, that's a really thin dust coat, the same kind of things you do on a Tamiya spray can. It's enough really. We're trying to just seal the edges of the masking tape at this point. Joy of an airbrush is that's probably already dry for me to be able to go and attack a bit more, but there's other things for me to be going on with. So there we are. That's the black done. It still wants a little bit of time to dry, but generally doing anything here with the airbrush is just so much faster in terms of, like, you can get decent coverage. Hold up to the light and check. You get decent coverage, but you can do it in really thin layers and actually get to the same place much quicker. It wants time to dry. If I go at the tape right now, I stand a reasonable chance of actually peeling some of the black away. It remains quite soft and scratchable for some period of time. Quite likely I will use a spray can to put a layer on the inside just to give it a little bit of toughness when we're all done. It's not perfect. You can see certainly on some of the places like here we've got bleed. The bleed on the edges was quite significant in terms of how much the tape shrunk as soon as it had got any amount of moisture in it. Whether that's because it was quite cool in here when I started, whether I just didn't give enough, maybe I pulled the tape too much when I was doing it. However, I don't think it's a great disaster. It's quite beneficial. I reasonably likely, I might go along these edges, once I've taken the tape off, go along the certain edges there to actually give this some more definition, because the benefit of an airbrush is I could do some amount of blending things there. And so actually I can claim that was intended in the first place. Only you guys watching will know otherwise. So otherwise, quite pleased. There's a few things for me to go and touch up with the paint remover, but otherwise that's looking quite promising, and definitely something I can work with for the next bit. Let's take some of the tape off and see where we're currently at. I mean, I could hit it just with white and go straight with the zebra, couldn't we? I can see a few places where I've got to clear up just some of the bleeds. I'm not going to do so, as I say, I'm not going to do so around the edges here, or on the tail edges of here. There is quite a large bleed actually around the side, on this side, depending on how to catch it in the light. I don't think I'm going to recover that by trying to use paint remover on it. So we might just live with that and know that as a consequence of paper masking by hand. But that's looking good so far. We'll have a Carson paint killer cleanup, and then be ready to hit it with some colour. Apologies for the audio. I'm currently on the action cam whilst my phone downloads what was on it and gives me some capacity to put the new stuff on it. So I've peeled off all the existing masking. That's been all okay. I've put some additional on because the next step is I want to put some pink around I call them the high points, particularly the points where we've got inflections in the shape of the body shell. Those places around here, around the bottom of the windscreen, those are the places I want us to have hot pink, and then fade into other colours as we go further through the body shell. So where these are actually cool spots on the body shell, I want to have them not be oversprayed with hot pink. So I'm going to start with hot pink, go a couple of colours, and then might come and do this entirely separately. Again, we're going to do a bit of hot pink around here. I guess actually I want to mask touch down here first, and then there'll be hot pink somewhere here with a spread to other colour as we go. So the key thing really is I want to get the hot pink on these few places here. Then we can start rumbling through. We've got a selection of neon colours, and we'll blend through those, and we'll see whether I can actually blend them. So we're going to go through those colours. I know yellow and then green is going to be a bit of a transition, but I think it's important for me to do them in kind of the right colour. These colours need proper mixing up before each one. I do have my trusty airbrush cleaner. I'm not going to worry too much about cleaning between paints. These neons are going to be quite thin, so I'm not going to have any trouble with flow in terms of the airbrush. And if I'm blending anyway, I'm not too worried about excess. So whatever I've got left, I'll run through the airbrush whenever I've done a colour, and then move on to the next. Let me just do that touch more masking I wanted first. I don't think I recorded that last bit, so I'll say about it again now. We finished painting the pink. I've no idea whether it's going to be bright enough until we back it with a white, but I've got it on all of the edges that I'd planned on putting it on, and I believe it's probably sufficient. These neons are quite hard work about how thin they are. That's the thing I've got to just get used to experience. But I think it'll all work out okay. Next up, we're going to go orange, and orange is going on the trailing edge of these pink bits. I realise I've got to be careful. I'm not planning on using it here, but trailing edge here, and we'll go trailing edge of all of the pinks I've got. And then I'm going to run back the other way and use purple down to green thereafter. The yellow I'm going to save till last, and so yellow will be somewhere up here on the things, mostly because I think the yellow is going to be thinnest, hardest to work with. I know the green is hard to work with because I use it on the drag hopper, and the likelihood of me blending those colours in ways I don't want to is higher. So the green and yellow are going to be late, and we'll see. I've no idea whether I'm actually going to go the entirety of the body shell. My plan originally was I was going to leave some chunks of this to be silver. Don't have silver. I do have grey, white and metallic flakes, so that'll work. I've also got a can of gunmetal Tamiya spray can that I can use to back everything if that works out. So on with the orange. So that's the orange put on. We'll see how we go. I'm struggling a bit with blending and whatnot, but you know, I haven't done it before. I know I'm trying to lead it far enough up the body to work. It's a bit rough and ready, but hey, this is a race car. I'm going to remove some of my spray, my masking here that was to try and keep the pink in the right spots. That's used sufficiently for now. I don't think I particularly had any real issue achieving what I wanted there anyway. So it was a nice insurance, but I don't think it was strictly necessary. That's better Better to have it than not, I'm going to say. I either go yellow off the back of the orange, or I go in the other direction and try and lead some of the purples from the trail end of things forwards. And I think that's probably where I go. Let's come from the purples. Alright, really quick update. We've hit the thermal limit on my compressor. The purple's looking a bit rough and ready. Yeah, struggling with that one. But, you know, as long as I drive it fast enough, who's going to know? We'll wait for the compressor to cool down, put some other colours on, and see where we get to. So struggling, but keep going. Right, yellow up next. It is definitely thin, but let's see. So there we are. Finished painting the various colours. I did back it in white to try and give a bit more brightness to the neons. What that really showed is my neons were probably painted too thin. Next time round I'd do something where I give them a lot more colour. It's definitely one to not look up too close. Hopefully when it's whizzing past it will achieve a bit more. I have backed it inside with gunmetal after the coat of white. So that leaves me the ability, at least for some uncoloured lines, that are gunmetal instead of pure white or pure colour. That was intended. So we just take the remaining mask off and mount it up. Looks better for being able to see through the windows. That helps greatly. We'll get it put on the body shell. Oh, I suppose we do need to do remove the film. I might have some work to go through and clear up some overspray. It doesn't look it. Oh, that looks better already. As soon as you get some shine out, it helps. Get that mounted on. And then we can, one remaining item is I have had Chris over at Disco Discs do me a set of wheels specifically for this paint. So I'll at least mount up this side and get some glamour shots in. So there we have it. Custom body, custom wheels. I'm very happy. I've still got to paint up the Durga. I'm going to do that with thinner masking in the first place. I've learned a lot from doing this one. I'll certainly have a go at doing the same scheme but doing a second time, see if I can do better. I don't know whether I'll do it on a 201 body or whether I'll try on a Sand Viper to begin with. I think it's got potential. How about that? Thank you for watching and I hope to see you again soon.